My father-in-law, the boss, leaned back in his chair with a smirk that could slice through titanium. He never liked me. To him, I was a boy from the wrong side of town who'd married his daughter through charm and luck, not merit. And this afternoon, he made sure to remind me of that. "It's a pity my daughter chose you," he said, waving a hand like he was brushing away dust. "I doubt you've actually handled major accounts. You probably consider balancing a checkbook a feat." I clenched my jaw but said nothing. Years in this office had taught me that his insults weren't personal. They were tools. Tools to test, provoke, and belittle. But I'd learned patience. I had something to prove. And that's when the door burst open. Marta Wells, CEO of Clarion Tech, his top client, the one that made or broke quarterly targets, strode in. Dressed sharply, radiating confidence, she scanned the room with the assurance of someone who controlled her universe. Then she saw me. Her eyes lit up. "David," she said, delighted. "Oh my God, it is you." My father-in-law blinked. "You know each other?" Marta practically glided toward me, arms wide. "Know him?" David turned our Southeast Division around in 2018. We were bleeding cash until he came in with those strategy sessions. "I still use your notes. By the way, you disappeared after that. What happened?" I felt every eye in the room swing toward me. I glanced at my father-in-law. His smugness had vanished. "I got married," I said simply. Marta laughed, unaware of the weight in the room. "Well, your loss was your wife's gain." She turned to my father-in-law. "If David's here, I'm confident this partnership will go even further. I had no idea he worked for you." He forced a smile, the kind that doesn't touch the eyes. Later that evening, in the silence of our modern minimalist condo, I sat across from Emma, my wife. Her father's words echoed in my head, but I didn't bring them up. I didn't want to stir tension. Our marriage had been balancing on thin ice for months already. She was on her phone again, thumbs flying, smiling softly. "Who's that?" I asked casually. She looked up, startled, the way someone does when caught in a lie they weren't ready to explain. "No one. Just Sarah," she said. But Sarah's name didn't light up her face like that. I let it slide. For now. Days passed. Marta and I worked together, closely. Too closely, if you asked Emma. She became distant, cold. Meals were silent. Her laughter was reserved for her screen. I stayed late more often, partly to avoid the tension, partly because working with Marta reminded me of who I used to be before I married into a family that measured worth in bloodlines and last names. One evening, while packing up, Marta lingered in my office. "You okay?" she asked. I hesitated. She stepped closer. "I know what it's like to feel invisible in your own life." I looked at her then, really looked. She wasn't just a client. She was someone who'd built herself from nothing. She understood the weight of underestimated worth. "I don't think she loves me anymore," I admitted, "and I don't think I do either." Marta reached out, touched my hand. Her warmth was steady. "You deserve to be chosen, not tolerated." I didn't kiss her that night. I wish I could say I did, just to get over with. But no, it was slower, more subtle. Emotional intimacy first. Quiet phone calls. Dinners that started professionally and ended in laughter and wine. Then, one night, after she shared how her ex had made her feel like furniture, present, useful, but unloved, I kissed her. And I didn't stop. For weeks, we danced in shadows. I told myself it was justified, that Emma was already gone, that I was just reclaiming my life. But part of me still wore the guilt like a hidden bruise. Then came the dinner. Emma's father had arranged a party. The Wells account had doubled. He wanted to celebrate. Everyone was there. He stood at the head of the table, glass raised. "This quarter's success," he said, "goes to my team, and especially my son-in-law, who I admit surprised me." There were polite laughs. I forced a smile. Then Marta walked in. She hadn't RSVP'd. She wasn't expected. She came anyway, cool, calm, confident. "Apologies," she said, taking an empty seat beside me. I couldn't miss the celebration. Emma noticed instantly. Her eyes narrowed. She leaned toward me. "Did you invite her?" "No," I whispered. She came on her own. But the look on her face said she already knew. Maybe she'd known for weeks. Later, as the guests milled about and the wine flowed, she pulled me aside into the hallway. "You slept with her," she said. Not a question. A fact. I swallowed. "Emma, you've been gone for months." I tried. "And you didn't tell me. You let me think I was crazy." "You were gone," I snapped. "Your phone, your secrets, your coldness. What did you expect me to do?" She stared at me, and for the first time in a long time, her mask fell. Not anger, not sadness, just fatigue. "I expected you to talk to me, not cheat." I could have said a million things. Instead, silence settled between us like fog, thick, suffocating. "I want a divorce," she said softly. I didn't argue. Months passed. The divorce was quick. Her father blamed me, of course, called me ungrateful, disloyal, said I used his daughter to climb the ladder. Maybe part of that was true, but the truth was I'd loved her once, genuinely. I just stopped feeling seen. Marta and I stayed together, not just lovers, partners. She offered me a role in her company. I declined. I needed to build something on my own terms, something that didn't come with shadows or apologies. Now, every morning, I wait beside someone who looks at me like I matter, not for my name, not for my title, but for me. Sometimes I still see my ex-father-in-law at industry events. His sneers have dulled. His company has lost a few major accounts, Clarion Tech among them. Turns out Marta prefers loyalty over legacy. He once pulled me aside, months after the dust had settled. "You still think you were the better man?" he asked. "No," I replied, meeting his eyes. "Just a real one." And I walked away, this time with nothing to prove.